Dogs will show stress signals in a variety of ways. Panting, everybody knows the panting, everybody knows the yawning. Separation anxiety, some of the symptoms might not look so obvious at first, but it starts with like the dog shadowing us from room to room, or can we not stand up and walk across the living room without the dog wanting to follow behind us? Some of these like more subtle signs are the things that people are oftentimes ignoring. Like, can I walk in the other room without the dog like whining a little bit? You know, it's normal for a dog to like want to find their people and find their pack, but at a certain point in our society, dogs have to learn to live alone. You know, be separated from us. So those early signs are some of the things that we're looking for. And one of the most important things you can do to set yourself up for success is teach the dog to be contained in such a way. Oftentimes we're gonna recommend a safe kennel and teaching a dog to be safe in their kennel, teaching the dog that sometimes they're just put away. If we can like make using a routine for the dog every day, that they go away in a kennel and or they go away into an X-pen of some sort and some sort of containment, we teach the dog that throughout the day, you might be left alone, and that's okay and normal. Some of the training techniques that can reduce separation anxiety is oftentimes at Casey Dogs, we'll recommend just doing obedience with your dog in general. Having a communication system to tell your dog that like, hey, I really like it that when you do that behavior, like a sit or down, but also I really like it when you settle. And teaching a dog like that clear communication path to like, hey, this is how we learn to calm in these situations. By, you know, other techniques you can do is make the kennel or make the dog's containment system a very safe place. We all hear that about how like we want our dogs to really enjoy their kennel, enjoy their alone time. So sometimes that looks like maybe if we're struggling, maybe the dog only eats in their containment area. And that will oftentimes change their feelings about it real fast. If the dog is only given special bones and treats and toys and stuff in their kennel, then that can kind of help start to perhaps change the dog's association to that containment area. Oftentimes I'll encourage people to have the dog's only access to water be in their kennel when they're in the house. And so almost like the dog kind of starts to see that as like their home, their space. Also, sometimes teaching your dog to settle by like just tethering them across the room, teaching them a place command so they learn to not shadow you everywhere. And that can start the process of reducing separation anxiety. So some of the less obvious signals of separation anxiety might mean like things like when people think it's cute that the dog shadows them when they go to the bathroom, or they shadow them from room to room and room. Sometimes it can feel like our dog really likes us and our dog wants to be around for us, but just bear in mind that it's really important to teach the dog to be alone and structure that daily. It's also sometimes really important that the dog learns to be alone when you're home. That's a step that many people miss when they're working on the dog being like having separation anxiety or kennel anxiety, is they only put the dog away when something exciting is going on that they want to be a part of, or they only put the dog away like almost punitively if the dog is like just kind of getting out of hand, and that's the time that they use it. So the dog starts to kind of associate the kennel as a punishment rather than just part of their daily routines. We recommend, you know, teaching the dog like within your structure every day, like, hey, sometimes you're gonna be alone, and that will kind of take the novelty out of it for whenever you need your kennel or you need the dog to be separated. Professional training is oftentimes recommended, obviously, if the dog is self-harming or like being destructive. You know, really kind of those first signs, like if you can get out ahead of it. If I feel like I can't walk out of a room without the dog needing to be behind me or flipping out, then you should seek professional help before it does like turn into things like house rearrangement. You know, dogs don't decorate the house very well. We don't want them to do that. No, that's terrible. Take all that out. Another good reason to teach a dog to be alone independently is oftentimes, especially like younger professionals that are like get dogs and they live in these apartment complexes, oftentimes their lease is up within a year. And so if we teach our dog to be contained safely, then perhaps we can move from like another place, because hey, like your bedroom comes with us to the new house. And that can kind of oftentimes will help acclimate a dog like to do that. When I was younger, I used to move a lot, and usually, you know, like my dogs were fully house trained, fully potty trained, and I would use the crate or use a containment system as a way to integrate them into the new routine, not just in terms of like our time of day, because that didn't really change for me, but like the routine in terms of like our environment, like where we're walking, what we're doing every day. And the crate really kind of helped like normalize that regulation for the dog. And dogs really do thrive on structure and being regulated.